stop messing with the intro.
Gonna find my baby, gonna hold her tight. Delight, heart is open and the brightest
What? It doesn't go like that.
Afternoon delight.
Welcome everybody to the Lunchtime Banter Podcast, LTB. This is episode number 7. Thank you all for joining us. My name is Jora, alongside my co-hosts Kevin, Gurjot, and Preeti.
First off, I'd like to say that my real name is Inder. Okay, I like to be called Inder. These bastards won't call me that on here.
You keep that up, we're gonna start calling you Bert.
Oh, you bastard. Okay, so, but my family calls me Preeti. So
You just need to embrace it, okay?
yeah, it's
Hey,
okay.
we're co-hosts, not family here.
But anyways, okay, let's get into it. So, guys, I got a new phone. Jora's had it, I guess, and Kevin ordered it too, right? But he doesn't have it yet, so fuck him. But
You tell
yeah.
us what the phone is.
Oh yeah, it's a Pixel 3.
Did you go with it? Okay, you went with the extra large. Very good, very good.
Yeah,
Very
the only
good
reason
choice.
because I got it for free. I shopped around like crazy on Boxing Day, and found it that I got it for free, and I saved like $15 a month for my plan as well. Got more gigs as well, so fuck it.
Well, that's not bad at all. Welcome to the Pixel family.
Well, I had the Pixel
One
one.
of
One of us.
of us.
One of these are not like the other. and it's this clown sitting over here.
It's me, guys. Spoiler alert, it's me. I'm a simpleton with a S9 Plus.
No.
He's trying to sell it if anybody wants it.
Yeah, right.
At least you don't have an iPhone.
Yeah.
Count
They're
your
the
blessings.
worst type of people.
I think there's a
Yeah,
lot
we
of,
just lost half our listeners.
I think half our user base uses Apple.
yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. They're okay. It's okay.
I'd give the new one a chance.
The X it looks sick though. The X
It's
does
actually
look
pretty
sick.
good. My wife has iPhone X. It takes pretty good pictures. It does whatever iPhone does. It's pretty good.
Yeah, you know what? If you're locked into their ecosystem, it totally makes sense. Actually, you know what? One of the big reasons I would like actually give it a shot is because of the Apple Watch. I know 2 people who just got the Apple Watch. Fuck, it's pretty sick.
It is. The heart rate monitor on it is supposed to be really accurate too. It's crazy.
So here's the other thing. I pumped them all up to get it because they're iPhone people anyway. So they're like, oh, what should we get our significant others? I'm like, yo, get the Apple Watch. And I'm like, because it's got the EKG in the Series 4. But guess what?
Echocardiogram.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, it basically gives your a reading of your heart rate, like if you're having any irregularities and all that kind of stuff, and it'll actually notify you if you're basically having a heart attack or borderline. Again, don't quote me on this shit. But the app is not released in Canada yet.
Oh, what?
So yeah,
Oh.
they bump it up. They say it's got the EKG and all that shit. But the Canadian government hasn't
approved it over-
approved the app.
Well,
for
the
the
technology's there though.
The technology
Yeah,
is there.
it's
though.
just a
But it was just kind of a downer because it was like
Yeah.
so, hyped about that, especially specifically that feature.
Hmm.
And then it turns out, I'm like, why isn't this thing working? I'm trying to set it up for them. And then, good old Google tells me that it's not even available in Canada. I'm like, that's bullshit. But anyway, that's one of the reasons I would give the Apple phones a
Yeah.
shot is because, fuck, that watch is good.
Isn't it crazy how the Samsung came with the Apple? Oh, sorry, watch the
Smartwatch.
smartwatches, and they came out with it, and the Apple's like, oh, we would never make a watch, blah blah blah, and they were Samsung was ahead of the curve, and they kind of dropped the ball then.
It's because they're sticking with their own software. They're sticking with their Tizen or Tizen or whatever you want to call it. Samsung has their own version of Android that they run. I don't even think it's Android. It's their own software. It's Tizen.
That's in the watch, you're saying?
That's in the watch.
Oh,
right.
okay.
So they're really trying to encompass everybody in their own ecosystem. They're trying to be like Apple. They're basically like, hey, come to our Samsung stuff.
That's in their TVs too.
Yeah, it's in their TVs as well.
Oh, that's the technology that's used in
the
the
operating system
And their
in
fridges.
in their TVs. It is. Yeah, the smart fridges have the Tizen or whatever it's called. But that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get you to buy into their ecosystem, which Samsung ecosystem is garbage. So who's going to buy into that? But Apple's is actually really good. if again you're into that kind of thing and you don't like flexibility and you like being told what to do, it's great. It's great for those individuals.
we love you
There's a
guys.
lot of restrictions and limitations.
Yeah, can't share music. Can't even send a person a file without it. Being in your iCloud or any of that crap. It's just too many restrictions.
Yeah, but yeah, they took that and they got the best watch though. You can't even what is it, Garmin? Like they have really good watches too, but I don't even think their heart sensor is close to theirs.
You can't fuck with Apple Watch. Like
A lot of people in America actually they put that on. They had the heart sensor, and they actually went to the doctor after that because they had irregularities in their heart rate.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Like,
and it
picked
like
up stuff.
basically it saved their lives, type of thing.
Crazy.
That's
crazy.
pretty wild.
See, I'm still holding out for Google Glass to make a comeback.
Dude, that's not gonna come.
They're coming. They're doing
Yo,
a version 2.
It's not coming, man.
You know what the
Not
problem is?
soon, but
No, I don't think it. I think it's over.
You
One
just
day.
look
No.
like a doofus wearing it, and I think
Well, they're gonna make it so that that's just their version 1. They're gonna make
Yeah.
it so you can't even tell.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
still
just the glasses that we're
prototype.
wearing.
But then, how do you guys feel about somebody? If somebody's wearing it, I know they're gonna have to keep an indicator light on, showing that it's recording because it is
Yeah.
recording all the time.
Yeah.
How do you feel about just being recorded all the time?
Well, that's coming
it's
regardless.
happening
That's
anyway.
coming. Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
happening
we're on
regardless.
security cams. We're on all
Well,
sorts of
that's-
stuff all the time anyway.
Dude,
that's
I don't
way-
even
that's way
trust like
different.
somebody coming into my house. They could have a voice recorder on, like at the same, like it's the same shit. It's
Yeah.
we're just going that way. It's bullshit, but we're going that way.
I mean, we whip out
So
our
fuck
phones,
it.
record stuff all the time anyway.
Yeah.
Snapchat. Like,
Yeah.
if you're ever out in public in
Yeah.
a touristy area or anything, you're on camera.
Yeah,
by
think about
100
like doing
different cameras.
something that's like you're gonna be embarrassed to do. You know, anytime you're doing something, you're like, yo, somebody's probably recording. Yo, stop. Or
They're
something.
always watching.
Yeah.
Everyone's always
I
watching.
agree with you guys on that point, but I just think like when it's continuously on, like you're ordering coffee and let's just say you're the barista, you're being recorded for that. All your interactions are just being recorded.
But you are getting
Yeah,
recorded
but,
anyways.
But you're on a security cam.
Security
anyway.
cam.
Yeah, it's different.
I know it's
man.
different. I know it's different. It's like a point of view kind of thing from a person, a camera kind of
But
thing.
somebody
moving
can
around.
easily just walk up to you with their camera out and record you while they're getting their coffee.
Yeah,
Like, there's crazy people that do that
Yeah,
all the time
they
now.
record their whole lives and shit.
Yeah.
on it.
So it's like the possibilities there if you want to do weird stuff like that, but
People
the
are
reality is most people, after they try it out and figure out how it works, they're not just going to walk around recording all the
Yeah, a
time.
lot of people have dash cams now and they're just recording
Yeah.
always, just so in
Exactly.
case they get an accident or it's not their fault and shit like that.
Yeah, dash cams would probably work against me because I'm such an aggressive driver.
I think most people,
riding
I think
people's
most-
asses.
There's nobody
straight up.
drives to the book. So
I know,
Yeah.
but you know what? Some of the dash cam, because they're so common now and they're becoming more common, is some of the footage you get from the dash cam is just sick.
Oh, we're so fortunate to have all that comedy now.
I know.
All the stupid shit that happens
So
and you get
much.
it from dash cams.
Stupidity.
Not even the stupid stuff. There's cool stuff. I remember the first thing that I saw off a dash cam that made me go like, "Oh shit, this is crazy!" That like a dash cam picked it up was that meteor over Russia.
Oh, yeah,
a few
yeah,
years
yeah,
ago.
yeah.
Remember that?
But
Where-
that's the cool thing about Russia and China over there because their insurance shit is like fucked.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So that you almost have to. You're
Yeah.
you're an idiot if you don't now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw a couple of the videos where like a guy just comes and jumps on top of a car,
Yeah.
Yeah.
smashing his
basically
head into
hitting
the
his own
window.
head. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, like that's
Yeah.
kind of crazy shit they do for
That was like the Russian like military or police or something.
insurance scams. It was. I
Or
think
what are
it
you
was-
talking
It was
I'm
China.
talking where he like jumped and like kicked into the front.
Oh, the windshield.
Yeah,
no, that's
the
different.
windshield.
That's,
No,
that's like
no.
a SWAT. That's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
SWAT
yeah.
video. Yeah.
I'm talking about a guy was trying to do like an insurance claim. He's like lingering on the side of the sidewalk,
Yeah, yeah.
and the car like,
Waiting.
and then he like jumped in, but the guy stopped, and then he's like, oh shit, the guy stopped,
Yeah.
and then
It
he
was a
jumped out of
crosswalk.
his
Oh,
car
yeah, yeah,
It was
I
a
saw that.
crosswalk.
and
Yeah,
started
yeah.
smashing his
Yeah.
head into the window.
I know I've seen so many of those. They'd be like a person would be slowly walking up with their car, and they'd be like putting their arm out, try to get hit by the mirror.
Yeah.
Then not. Then they
And
like
then
jump
falling
into him
over
like, oh god.
Hey, if you have one, do you get a discount on your insurance?
You know what? That's what it should happen now. Should.
Yeah.
I don't know about if you do, but it should.
should.
It's like,
That
yo,
should
it
happen.
makes their job so much easier.
Yeah.
Right? They don't have to spend time investigating this
Exactly.
that. It's right there. The footage is right there. And it's like, yo, okay, this happened. But next case, right? So it should even almost go to a point that they come with them.
Yeah. I
Right?
mean, they have rear view cameras and all that
Yeah.
stuff anyway.
Why not put it? You know what?
Yeah,
what's
just
on?
hook up a hard drive to
Yeah,
it so that
yeah.
you can restore the footage.
Exactly, and it's built in, and that it's recorded and everything. Because one other thing is that it needs to be put somewhere that it doesn't get really dirty in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Because some people put it in the wrong spot. I've seen it,
yeah.
and then they're like, you can't even see what the hell's happening in front of you. It's like, yo, put it at least where the windshield wiper is. Okay, I forgot about the word. But at least put it where the
the
windshield.
swish. For the swish swish.
It should probably just be like in the rear view camera behind it, so it just looks forward. Like your front rear view camera. Well, I mean your
Mirror?
rear view mirror.
What?
Your
Yeah,
rear
he's saying
view
where the
mirror.
rear view mirror is.
Yeah,
Put it on the back.
Oh, yeah,
of the
behind
van.
that.
That'll
So
work.
But
look
the thing is,
forward.
no. But then you can't clean it. Then the problem is like, okay, now if like dirt and stuff goes on it, right? And then how are you gonna clean that part? Then it has to be some. Because remember, like back in the day, Mercedes even had little wipers on their lights.
Oh yeah.
You could do something weird like that. But then they started, instead of the wipers, then they started putting just the windshield fluid sprayer thing.
Yeah.
Right? So they could do some sort of thing like that to keep
Yeah.
it clean in the front of that.
So currently, no major insurance companies in the U.S. offer a premium discount for installing dash cams. So this is a recent article. However, there is a Senate bill in the committee which would require New York insurers to provide a 5% discount to drivers whose vehicles have a dash cam. So at least that's what's happening in the States. ICBC.
Why are you looking up the states?
Well, I'm just giving you some context.
I want contacts from this country.
Well, from Canada, ICBC, they're garbage.
They're
anyways.
fucking garbage.
So I doubt they're going to give you any discount. They're probably going to increase your rates for having a dash cam.
How dare you?
I know.
Yeah, they're going to be like, you know what, fuck you guys.
They're just gonna go through all your footage and see
Yeah.
all
Man,
the
I can't wait till they
tiny
like
traffic.
plummet, like they just crash. That
You know,
whatever it
I
is.
don't know if I feel good about that one either, though.
No, it's gonna be a hard like time period till we settle in for the next thing. But I think like Calgary's, Alberta's, like they're what is it called?
They're
Like
insurance
insurance companies, they're like private.
They're private.
Yeah, so it's like way better.
But that's the thing. Like, you still
competition,
need
man.
some sort of like Ontario's rates are through the roof. Like, we're way cheaper than Ontario.
Oh, is theirs private?
There's
or?
private. So like private
really?
necessarily is not the best.
Oh, okay.
Um,
But
It's
then
not
doesn't competition
and
drive
then
it
the other
down?
and the other
private
thing,
doesn't work when you have to get something. Like
And
when
that's the
when
problem.
when you have to get insurance,
Yeah.
having private companies providing that doesn't make sense. It's the same thing with healthcare in the States.
Yeah.
That's the reason their healthcare is so bad, is because the
'Cause
insurance
you know,
companies
they know you have to have
Yeah,
it.
because-
They got the upper hand on you.
exactly, and so
that makes
the
sense.
insurance companies are the ones that are
and they're
fucking
going to
with
try
the-
to fuck you every which way they
Yeah,
can.
yeah. They're
They're
gonna.
going to deny all your claims. Where at least with ICBC, if you get into an accident right now, I think it's like 15 or 20 treatments right off the bat are covered. No questions asked. You go there, you can start getting your treatment done right away.
True.
Right. So there are some positives. It's just been mismanaged by all the governments, and it's a shit show. I'm not going to sit here and recommend what's better, but give us a discount for dash cams.
Probably so many people like just manipulate the system too.
Yeah, that's who ruins it. Like someone like, hey, oh look, pretend you got hurt. You don't have to work for a year and you get $100,000. Yeah, that's gonna drive. If you freaking 1,000 people do that, okay, now the rest of people
Well,
are sitting there paying that person,
The
right?
game is about to change because
Oh, yeah.
come April, they've capped what the claims can be.
That should drive our prices down, shouldn't it?
You think they're going to bring our rates down?
Then what was the point of that? Then fuck it, fuck them, protest and shit.
You're hoping for. You're reaching, buddy.
Fuck
You're
man, I
reaching.
don't like this insurance cost, man.
And insurance, yeah, man, it's crazy. It just goes up and up and up. That whole racket's going to come to an end come April because they've capped. I think minor injuries are going to be capped at like $5
I
or
think,
50,
$5, yeah.
$5,500 or something like that. And here's the crappy part about it though. Even concussions are being capped, which to me is that shouldn't be because we all know what concussions can lead to and CTE, and there's more and more and more data and research coming out about the effects of concussions. So in my opinion, like that's a tough one where you cap someone and you don't know what the future effects of that are going to be and what they could actually cause that individual.
Well, that's with a lot of stuff too. Like
Yeah.
if you get a back injury and
Yeah.
stuff, I mean, you can that can flare up
But
here and there.
You never know what's gonna happen
Yeah,
though. That's the thing.
exactly.
You never know. Like now, if we had some sort of technology or something, like hey, in 10 years this is gonna happen from this injury now, then you could be like, okay, this person deserves more or care. We need to focus on it. It's too hard. It's because concussions, man. Obviously, we know they're fucked up. Like they'll fuck you up in many ways over the years, right? You could even get so many mental health
Yeah.
problems later on,
yeah,
right?
leads to dementia. And
Yeah,
Alzheimer's
so
and
many
shit
things.
later on.
But how are you supposed to know what's gonna happen, right, in the future? Like
That's true.
Minority Report kind of shit. Like we can't do what we think is gonna happen in the future, right?
Only if we could.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. But anyways, I think I started by talking about my Pixel.
Also, here's another thing.
Oh, yeah.
I was downtown Vancouver last night, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try out this night shot.
Yeah, night
vision.
sight.
Night
Sight. Night
sight.
sight.
Night sight. Holy shit, dude! Like the pictures, unreal. From like stuff that I couldn't even see with my eyes. This thing brought it like full out into like daylight basically, and the photos turned out really good.
Yeah, I just tried it too. I tried to right when I bought it too. Then I was like, okay, I don't know how to use this thing. But then I looked it up. But then I did it, and it's crazy. I saw those pictures. They look amazing. It takes a bunch of these pictures with high exposed, I think.
Different exposures.
Different exposure, and merges them together and perfectly. Like blur over here because they didn't do it properly. The software is fucking fantastic.
Their cameras kick ass.
Oh yeah,
That's great.
For photos.
for photos. Yeah,
For photos, but videos, iPhone is still king for videos.
yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
they
Okay.
are. They've got better stabilization.
Oh
and,
yeah, there's
do they-
stabilization.
yeah.
There's
I
stabilization.
I have the original Pixel, and even that, I found the
Oh, no, it's-
stabilization.
it's
and
great.
the 4K
It's great.
and the 60.
It's great.
frames.
It's really
Like, I
hard
found
to-
it-
No, it's great, but iPhone is a little.
iPhone
I've
is
se-
a
I've seen it a
slightly
little
better
bit.
with the
Yeah.
stabilization, and then the mics are a little bit better when you're
Oh, really?
recording video. So that's like,
Oh.
and we're talking about
Yeah,
very
like,
minor.
stuff most of us
Yeah,
wouldn't.
most
Most
people
people
notice.
wouldn't even know the
Wouldn't even be able to
difference,
notice.
wouldn't have a clue. But the mics and the stabilization are slightly better on the iPhone. That's why they're a little bit better for the video side of stuff. But for photos, the king is the Pixel,
Yeah.
hands down.
Or well, Huawei.
Hey, that P20
P20
actually,
Pro.
Somebody just ordered it. A buddy of mine just texted me. He's like, he ordered that Mate P20 Pro,
Yeah.
right? It's got the Leica lens. I think Leica makes their optics on the phone. Again, fantastic camera. I don't think it's available in the US though. Well, no, it's not. 'cause
No,
of
it's
the
not,
whole
yeah.
Huawei thing.
I had the
We-
P20 Pro for a bit.
Yeah.
I probably had it for like 2 weeks. And even the front-facing camera, because that's usually what people like. They always have the lowest amount of pixels. This one's really high and took really good photos.
You had it? Why'd you have it?
I was going through phone. I went through like 6 phones in a month, so I was
What the
just
hell were you
hopping on
doing?
from phone to
He's
phone to phone.
slowly trying to get to the apex, the pinnacle,
The
to the
Pixel of
Pixel.
phone
Slowly.
I bounced around to a bunch of phones.
right,
LG, and Sam-
right before the episode when we told him that we all have Pixels, he's like, "Should I sell my phone then?"
And the answer is yes.
I might have to.
Yeah.
I might have to go to the Pixel.
Well, you might as well now.
Yeah.
You might as well.
But anyways, yeah, I had the Huawei P20 Pro for a bit. Amazing camera. It was unreal. My wife had the iPhone X. We took pictures side by side, and they were better on the P20 Pro.
Wow.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
So what plan did they give you?
Well, I went in, was trying to get that $65 or $75 for 10 gigs. 10 gigs. Having that 10 gigs is fucking fantastic.
That's what I got last year. It was $60 for 10 gigs.
60? Oh, I thought it was 65.
60.
Oh, shit.
I fucked up.
Yeah, they offered it to Joda, but he's like, no, I want lower.
I want the 60.
I got a call from retention. They were like, "What can we do?" And I'm like, I'm actually thinking of leaving you guys." And they're like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want a better plan." They're like, "Okay, what are you getting?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm getting 10 gigs." And they're like, "Okay, we'll give it to you for 65." And I'm like, I feel like I can do better. And they're like, you can't call us, right? We can only call you. And I'm like, I think I can do better.
Oh, my
You're
God.
such a fool.
And I can't do better.
You're gonna have to go crawling back here.
Please call me back.
I
Please.
fucked up. I'm gonna call them. I'm gonna call them. Like, yo, so I was thinking.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Crawling back to them. Mine, they basically told me, they're like, you probably shouldn't ever change your plan.
Yeah.
Either $10 or $60 for 10 gigs, and they're like, don't ever change your plan. Just buy phones and just keep
Yeah, it's worth
keep
it
your
for
plan
that.
always.
BYOD works out way better.
Yeah. Well, that's what I did. I was so good with it. I was $45, dude. I was paying for 5 gigs.
Yeah, ever since they got rid of the 3-year contract, ever since it's been 2-year max, like buying your own device makes way more sense.
Yeah. But then what happened was my device got fucked up. Then I was like, oh shit, I gotta go back to them now. And they gave the Pixel 3 for XL for free, so I was like, yo, and they gave me a better plan too. So for $55,
Yeah, for
5 gigs.
going on 2 years, $55. That's pretty solid, man. Because usually they ramp that shit
Yeah,
up.
they rank it. That's why they're like, dude, I was going to most stores before. They were starting at $80.
Yeah,
They're like,
yeah.
you have to get a premium one for
Yeah.
the Pixel. I'm like, yo, what? I'm like, what do you? I don't need this premium shit, right? And then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wait and wait. Good thing I kept waiting. And then on Boxing Day, I went to a few Oh, actually, a bunch. We went to a bunch, me and
Yeah.
Gajo, and we just kept asking everybody. Half of them still $80, $90, but then half of them started going, yo, okay, we could give you 70, around 70-ish, maybe 65, but not enough, like 3 gigs or some shit, but the 3 is not enough. I need like 4 or 5. And then we went to 1, and then like, yo, okay, we'll hook you up.
Yeah, you gotta have to like know somebody to get good plans. Even if you go on like the Bell website, it's like to get 5 gig, it's like $85.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Come
you
on.
you got to get somebody that's in the system and be
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm going to hook you up. I'm going to try to get you the best thing possible,
Yeah,
basically.
basically.
Because if you call them or go online, those are the worst plans. Basically,
Yeah.
that's the one that they rape you at.
Freedom Mobile actually started this whole 10 gig
Yeah.
thing. They offer, I think, 10 gigs for like $40.
They also give 100 gigs on top. Which so if you go on top of your
100 gigs?
yeah, so when you go over your 10 gigs per month,
Yeah.
right, you start using out of the 100 gigs. It's just like
Oh,
a
it's like
promotion. thing.
bonus data.
Yeah, bonus data. But then you're just eating out of the 100. Then
Oh, okay.
Until
So it's an unlimited plan.
it is
It's
unlimited.
an
But then
unlimited, but it's capped
Throttle.
off at 10 gigs of 4G.
no, I think they changed it now. I'm pretty sure that they used to, because they used to be Wind,
Yeah.
right? Which was I think a Chinese company or something. I'm pretty sure it was overseas.
European company.
European? Okay, it was
Yeah.
overseas. So they came in and did that. That one was truly unlimited. I had that one, but their service was garbage. Like you got to be right in the center of cities and shit.
Yeah.
Right on the highway between cities, you're fucked. There's nothing. And but it was good. Like good start for us, I guess. And that was truly unlimited. Actually, no, it was throttled.
It was throttled.
It was throttled
Yeah, that
after like 10 gigs. So it was throttled.
Yeah.
But it was like I didn't even notice it. I used to fucking download movies, everything.
You didn't notice it because you didn't have service.
Oh shit! Didn't think about it that way. No. But I was in the middle of the city. Like I would just use a shitload of it, and I didn't really notice that much. But then they got bought by
Shaw.
Shaw.
Shaw bought them.
Okay. Then they bought. Then they turned it into all this.
Not only did Shaw buy them, but Shaw won the Spectrum auction, and so they are able to now build out a bigger network as well.
What does that mean? Spectrum.
So, don't quote me on this. I'm just going off the top of my head here, but when the cell phone companies basically get like bandwidth, for example, right? So they all try to get that the extra spectrum and that bandwidth so they can increase their network, make their networks bigger. And the big three were trying to get that spectrum, but because now Shaw is coming in and busting up the big three, they were awarded that spectrum, a part of the purchase of Freedom Mobile.
Okay.
Shaw isn't really
Repeat-
busting it up. It's
Hold
more
on.
of it's trying to join it.
Hold on, Kevin.
It
Before,
is,
before you
but
start that, hold on.
competition is great.
Can you dumb that down? I did not get that at all. What the fuck are you talking about?
I'll try to dumb it down a little bit. Basically, the way the satellite signal, like not the
No, I
satellite,
got
but,
that part. Like, but
the
he's like saying
bandwidth
it's
signal.
winning. Like winning from who? Like, what do you? I don't get it.
Well, from the
There's like a
FCC,
okay, so you have to get
Is
approved
it the
from.
No, that's
CRTC.
That's states,
CRTC,
that's
yeah,
states.
CRTC.
FCC.
I
Yeah,
That's the
this guy.
He's way too
This
American.
guy's. That's what I was about to say. Everything.
Yeah.
Yo, why don't you move down there, you traitor?
FCC, the Farm Credit.
Farm Credit Canada.
Farm Credit Canada.
They loaned it to me.
So what you're saying is, they have to be approved. That's what you're saying by
Yeah.
winning. Okay, that's the part that I was
C-
confused with, not the
CRTC
bandwidth
is the
and stuff.
one who awards the
So stop saying awards. It's weird.
Okay, well, what do you want
Well,
me to say?
it
They-
is because it's basically they're giving them permission
Yeah.
to do it. Because they
Why do they call it award then? That's weird.
they control it. So when they're going to release a new spectrum, they award it.
don't like
so
this.
all the companies have to apply for it, and then they
No, I
determine
I
who's-
get that fully, but
Yeah.
when you say like award, it's like it's weird. It's like you
what word do you
won.
want me to use?
Granted.
Fine, they were granted the
Granted
spectrum.
permission.
Yay.
They're granted permission. There you go.
They were
Okay,
giving
so that
us
makes more
permission
sense.
slip for it.
So how is Freedom's network?
Still garbage. No.
Yeah.
It is garbage.
So I can't fully
yeah.
comment on it. I did look into them because I'm like, okay, how often do we actually like?
Okay, wait. It's garbage for us because we live outside the major cities.
Yeah, like-
if you're in the major cities and you're not going to leave outside it,
Then
it's the best.
It's the best thing you can do.
Best thing you can do
Yeah.
because it covers the cities
Yeah.
completely.
So this is what changed my opinion on them is I went to go look at it and I was like, you know what? How often do I really like? I work, close to downtown. I work in an area where I know I've got great reception with Freedom. 90% of the places I go has a reception. But then I started looking at their coverage map,
Yeah.
and then where our farm is, it literally goes around that area, and then that becomes a roaming zone.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, if I ever go to the farm and I ever needed to go out there, I'd basically be roaming. And it literally just blips right around there.
Screw you specifically.
And it felt like it. I'm like, what the fuck? Why like a blip right around that area? Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense. But I would have honestly, I would have totally considered it if it wasn't for that. I would have given it a shot.
Yeah, it's just because we live in the farm areas
Yeah.
and stuff, so that
Well,
we
even
kinda
at my house, it didn't work very well. I remember when you had
Yeah.
when you were back on Wind, whenever you came over to my house, it wouldn't even work.
Yeah, it
And
wouldn't work.
That was the reason I was just like, well, screw it then. And I'm not even that far out in the middle.
And that was when you were with Wind, or when you were
Wind,
with
Wind.
Freedom?
I've never been with
Because
Freedom.
I know since Freedom has taken over, it has gotten a lot better.
Oh yeah, even when I was with Wind, every year they would increase it quite a bit.
Yeah.
But it's just my main thing was that when I'm outside of cities, cities is perfectly fine, especially who it's perfect for is kids and students and stuff. Basically,
Yeah.
students. It's perfect for them because. What the hell are you doing out on the farm? Kind of thing. Unless you're working out, then you get a better one. But like if you're just in
a
the
lot
city,
of students would be working on the
yeah,
farm.
that's what I'm saying. Then you gotta get a better one. I
Yeah.
guess. But anybody that's like a kid, you want to get your kid plan or whatever, right? It's like you don't have to worry about it. Blah blah, get it for
Yeah.
them. I used to pay what $35.
And that's
Yeah.
reasonable for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Because these days, if a kid comes and asks you and be like, "Hey, buy me a cell phone," you're not gonna be $110 a month for a cell phone plan to get the guy 10 gigs. They'd be like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah, that's a hefty bill.
That's a very
so
hefty
now
bill.
35. You're
Even
like,
if
okay.
that kid was working,
Yeah,
think
yeah.
about how many hours that guy has to work
Oh,
just to
yeah.
pay his cell phone
Yeah.
bill off,
Yeah.
right?
My first
crazy.
ever
Like, it's-
phone, it was like a $25 plan, and I got like social media, so I could use like Facebook and like Instagram and Snapchat, and it's like a little slider phone. That was my first thing.
My first phone was the fucking brick from what's it called?
Did you say brick or buttock?
I said brick. The one that the guy used in the original Wall Street movie. You remember when he was on the beach? That Motorola.
Oh, the massive.
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
That was my original phone, and I remember.
Oh, what, you had that?
I had that. So they gave me, first thing they gave me was a car phone that you put in the car, right? And I was like, this is ridiculous.
How old are you?
And again, the only reason I had it was
95.
because we had a farm really far, and so I needed something
Oh, yeah, yeah,
to keep in touch. So originally they're like, yeah, go with this one. I'm like, no. And then they gave me that brick, and I was like, this thing's a piece of shit. But then right then, I think it was ClearNet.
Is that the Star Trek one came out?
No, this is the one with the dial. It had a little rotary dial on the side. It was a-
I've never seen that one.
It was a ClearNet phone. I think Qualcomm made it. Officially, that was my first phone, and it didn't last long because it broke. And then we got a Nokia, and that thing was just a beast. Like,
Yeah,
I could
Nokia took over.
Indestructible.
I could chuck
The
it.
snake game and shit.
It was, it was analog though.
Oh, okay.
This is still in the analog days.
Yeah.
This is pre-digital,
Yeah.
right? And then when digital came, man, it just changed the world. It totally changed the world because back in analog days, you could actually hear the static and
Yeah.
the phone drop out, and you would actually have to go to like an area, like get high and all that kind of shit just to get like better signal. It was that fucked up. Whereas nowadays it doesn't work that way.
Yeah. It's either works or not.
Yeah.
I still use those tactics though. I wave my phone around like an idiot.
Like even at home or something.
No, because like in my area, like in the farmland area,
Yeah.
sometimes it cuts
But
out
it's
and stuff.
flat.
Nevertheless,
You still have issues with service?
like there's certain pockets where I know like calls are gonna drop and it's gonna be a little out of service.
Well, for us, right, because I live pretty close to him, it's switching between antennas. It fucks it
Yeah.
up. That's what's the fuck up.
How often do you guys get hit with roaming?
No, I changed mine to like
Turn it
home
off.
only, so it
The
never
roaming
even
block?
connects.
Yeah,
it.
you have to turn it
Yeah.
off where we live.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just have to
Yeah.
turn it off. So, yeah.
But yeah, one question I had. So you know how Bell's little corporation is Virgin? That's their little
The
Smaller-
Flanker
smaller-
brand?
yeah, and then Rogers is Fido.
Yeah.
Does Telus have one?
Telus is Kudo.
Kudo.
Oh,
yeah.
Kudos
Oh,
tell us.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it is.
Oh, okay.
Telus has
What about like
Kudo.
those other ones? Are they
I've
just
never
like
found
random
out.
ones like
Shaw has
Chatter
Freedom.
and shit like that?
I think those are up and coming.
I
Companies.
think those are standalone. They buy
use their other people's
airtime or
terms.
use their networks.
Yeah.
Oh,
They buy
okay.
network time from the other companies, but they're all pay as you go, I believe.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but I think Freedom coming in is actually huge. If it wasn't for Freedom, we wouldn't have had the cheap, high gig, cheap deals
Yeah.
that we have right now.
Yeah.
So the competition is going to be good. Whether they become the big four, The reality is that they have already started to shape the landscape of telecommunication now. So I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, awesome.
But it still sucks compared to other countries.
Oh yeah, it's still
Dude,
worse.
I went to UK a few years back, and their plans. Well, mind you, their island is really small. They probably need about 3 towers.
3 towers and it covers
3
the
towers
whole
cover
thing.
the whole thing. But it was £15 for unlimited everything.
Wow.
£15.
That's
That's
ridiculous.
ridiculous.
Actually, you know what?
I got it for the month. I was like, yo,
Yeah.
I'm only here for like a week and a half, but I'll get it for the month.
And for context, that is why our phone plans are so expensive. Is because geographically we're very huge in Canada, and then the population, unless you're like really close to the borders,
Which is
90%,
90%.
of Canada, it's really hard to build that network out and then try to get a profit from it because you're not going to.
Well, think about the mountains around here. Trying
Yeah.
to get you have to put so many towers just to get people reception on mountains. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. If it was all flat, it would be one thing.
So that's where I guess it is somewhat justifiable that the cost, but still, we want cheaper phones, cheaper
Yeah,
plans.
like when you just like comparing to other countries, you're like, man, why the fuck do they get that and we don't? This one lady, it was like a story out. She came back from France. She got a phone plan out there, so it's like 100 gigs, and then 25 gigs roaming from France, and it was £20, which is about like 32 bucks a month. She's paying that, and she was in Canada, brought that plan back with her, and she was using it as her daily. That's her normal thing. She had a France phone, and she's using it here in Canada because it's way cheaper for her. 100 gigs,
That
25
makes
roaming.
zero sense because you're using these towers that we have. Why can't we just pay them directly, whoever's towers they're using, and pay them less?
That's why it's not that they don't make enough profit. It's that they can gouge
yeah.
us, so they do.
Yeah,
But that's
They're
what
making
was that?
fun.
What was that shared monopoly thing? Whatever.
Oligarchy.
Oh yeah, that's what's going on.
Because one person puts out a price for that, and then the rest go okay. And then
Okay.
put
Yeah,
out
that's
the
what
same.
happens in
Yeah.
sales. They're like, oh, one person kind of goes down. They're like, fuck, okay, we'll
Yeah.
do it too for a little
Exactly.
bit.
Well, if you notice, that's what's happening with a lot of things these days. Once it's this whole culture of premium,
Yeah.
right? It's if you pay more, it must be better, right? Like that's why a lot of people stick with the iPhone because they're like, oh, only poor people have Androids or whatever like that, right? And that is the sentiment with a lot of people because they think, oh, this is like the shit. It's it's $1,300, $1,400, and Apple has kept themselves as a premium brand. But then what everyone else is realizing is people are willing to pay the money.
Yeah,
So
that's the
now
big
if you look at what the Pixel price used to be, when they used to release pre-Pixel, when Google used to release a phone that was partnered with other companies, they were premium, affordable phones, right? And now you're basically getting up to that Apple price. And if you look at it with PCs, you're seeing it because they see how much people are paying for MacBooks. I priced out a MacBook. I was like, okay, I need a new laptop when I'm priced out a MacBook. Fucking $3,200.
Holy shit!
$3,200. A fucking laptop.
That's ridiculous.
Dude, I bought mine for $1,100, and I was like, "Oh my god, I gotta
Yeah.
save up for this." Do you really want to do this, Cinder? Do you really want to do this? And I did it. I pulled the trigger, and obviously it was a great move because back then, but I would never buy it again.
The one I bought 10 years ago, the one that finally died on me, and so I will give it that. Like, they last a
Yeah.
long ass time. I bought that thing for $2,800. 10 years ago, I paid $2,800.
What size was it?
It was a 15-inch Pro, fully maxed out.
Yeah, mine it was 15. No, mine's 13,
Yeah.
but fully maxed out Pro.
Yeah, mine was a 15-inch Pro, fully maxed out. The best one you can get, and I paid $2,800 for it with Apple Care.
Holy, that's crazy.
But now if you look at PCs are starting to do the same thing. You got like HP Elite or the Spectre series and all these that are coming out, and they're like, that 1,200, 1,300. They're all plus 1,000, right? Where that was kind of
No, they've had them. They've had it all this whole time. They've had them this whole time. They had Alienware so long ago.
but those are like
Gaming, yeah.
PCs. Those are like
But-
high. We're talking about.
Yeah, but then, like you're saying, they're making something in the middle that
Yeah.
it's not even a gaming PC, but it's just like a premium one. And yeah, people are gonna buy it. But PCs are so cheap too. Like if you're actually looking at it properly, they're so cheap, man. Like the Chromebook now, look how cheap it is.
I just bought my dad a Chromebook.
How much did you pay?
$329. I'm waiting for it to come.
$329.
Yeah, man.
Think about that. From 32.
That's wild.
And that's the thing. He had a MacBook before,
Yeah.
right? And again, he had it for like 10 years. The thing died on him. So I go to him. I'm like, listen, we're not gonna spend another $1,000 to get you a MacBook because you literally just use it for YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
I'm like, you do nothing else with it.
If you're not downloading programs and using
Nothing.
programs,
Nothing.
it's stupid to buy anything
He
higher.
reads books on it, so he reads some PDFs basically, right? And YouTube and Facebook and crap like that. So
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I think I'm gonna get you a Chromebook. We're gonna try this out, and I think this will do for you.
It is for most kids too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Unless
For
now,
most people in general.
yeah, most people in general, yeah,
Yeah, I think 90% of people.
Yeah.
Because even with the Chromebook, you can do all the word processing, PowerPoints, spreadsheets. You can do all that stuff with it. So it basically comes down to unless you need specific programs,
yeah, programs, yeah.
then otherwise buy a PC or a Mac. But if you don't, then stick with
A Chromebook
A
or
Chromebook.
something.
In
like
the classrooms now, majority of the students, they have Chromebooks. And like some of the schools where it's like you have to kind of have a laptop type of thing, most of them have Chromebooks.
Oh wow,
Yeah, it makes the most
Yeah,
sense.
I get-
Chromebooks are huge now. Like they're
they're definitely taking over the education spectrum.
yeah, because like if you're not dumb, you're gonna look at the Chromebook,
Yeah.
right? You're gonna look at it first. Only someone that's not that smart would go right to a MacBook and be like, I got the shit.
Well, that's the thing though. If you only see the advert, because I haven't been looking into like getting a computer or anything, I haven't even heard of the Chromebook.
But the thing is, you haven't looked for
But I
it. But
haven't
once you
looked for
started
it,
looking
yeah.
for it, you would compare them all, right?
Yeah.
But lots of people don't do the research on stuff. They
that-
see a
those-
commercial and go, "Oh, I'll get that."
Well, those are the people that are gonna made Apple $1 trillion company.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just the brand thing, right?
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
it's Apple logo. I gotta get it. But the reality is, like, they just came out with their new MacBook Air, which the MacBook Air was meant to be like the entry level Mac.
Yeah, it was supposed
It
to.
was
Be.
supposed to be sub $1,000,
Yeah.
right? And now they came out with the new one, and it's over $1,000, and it's like, fuck, like these guys just can't stop, man.
Dude,
And
Apple.
people are gonna buy it.
Yeah, Apple's gonna do whatever the fuck they want to get the most money out of you.
But if you look at the specs, when you look at even their generation of processors they use, they're like always a year behind in their processors, and
or
there's
in the pros too?
in the pros, in the pros as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Especially in the MacBooks. Well, actually, no, even in their what's it called, iMac. The iMac Pro now they just updated it this year,
Yeah.
but prior to that, this year or last year, I can't remember.
was
But prior
behind.
to that, they never touched that thing for like 4 years, 5 years. The Mac Mini they just updated after like 6 years.
6 years.
Yeah, and again, that thing was supposed to be like that entry level
Yeah, that was
Mac
supposed
that
to-
you can get and hook up your own peripherals to. They jacked the price up on that thing too.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, what's his Steve Jobs' vision is completely gone.
Oh yeah.
I remember his plan was actually to make a completely wireless desktop that doesn't even have a power cord. That's what he wanted to make, and I bet you they dropped that whole thing.
Fucking Apple barely got wireless charging in their phone. Fucking desktop ain't coming anytime soon.
Fuck. Did you guys ever see that picture that he showed like art of it? How would it look? It was like a sphere. It was like, and it glowed kind of. It was weird, man. It was almost like that thing that you know that weird picture that was going around that Trump went to.
Oh, the orb.
Oh,
yeah, the orb in the
yeah.
ground. It looked just like that, dude.
Yeah.
That was the weird part.
The same scene that was in The Simpsons.
Yeah, same
Yeah.
thing. Dude, the Simpsons. Oh, don't get me started on that. The Simpsons predicting everything is ridiculous, man.
It's
It's-
nuts.
Why hasn't the FBI gone after the, what is it, groaning?
Yeah,
The-
Matt Groening.
Matt Groening.
He knows too much. He's from the future.
That's why he created Futurama.
Man, that fucking went down. I'm so mad. That was one of my favorite
Oh,
shows.
yeah.
Like Bender, man, come on.
All
You guys know
of
that
them.
show?
I watched it like here and there. I never really got into it.
Oh, I got into that one because it was more for like adults.
Yeah.
It was more for like
Yeah.
adults than.
But then Family
Simpsons.
Guy came
Oh
along.
yeah, then it
Yeah.
that was
And fucked everybody's shit.
yeah. That's what made Futurama probably go down.
I made the mistake one day of I was like, okay, you know, the kids want to watch cartoons, and this was at somebody else's house,
Yeah.
and so they didn't have Netflix or anything like that, and Family Guy was on.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, whatever, it's cartoons. I'm just gonna throw this on, right? Threw it on. First 5 minutes, biggest regret of my life. The shit they were talking about, my kids were looking at like, what is this? Right? And like even the language they're using, and I was
But
like,
they didn't have swear words on that one, did they?
no, it was a bleeped out one, but
Okay.
like just I think one guy's arm got chopped off in like the first like 5 minutes, and somebody got set
Classic.
on fire, like you know the classic Family Guy stuff. And I was just like, yeah, this is probably not the right thing for these guys right now. Had to flip the channel.
They probably didn't meet Quagmire yet.
No. Giggity. Yeah, Steve Jobs' vision is probably gone, eh? But he started crazy shit. Like if it was him, I don't know who actually created everything properly. But the iPad fucking fucked the industry up.
Yeah, the iPad flipped everything on its head.
Then the iPhone,
Actually, the iPhone was probably the most. Think
yeah.
about it. We'd probably
yeah.
still be like fucking with
dude,
like
flip phones and shit.
QWERTY keypads and
Dude,
shit like that.
BlackBerry would be still the best then.
You know,
Think about that.
Yeah, that's so
Yeah.
true.
Crazy,
BlackBerry
right?
would be
That's
the
It would be
best.
the best still.
BlackBerry
Yeah.
probably hates iPhone.
Yeah,
They're
dude, they
fucking good.
You know what the funny thing was though? I remember when iPhone first came out, and people were like, "Oh my god, I can't type on that thing. I need my QWERTY keyboard."
Yeah.
And people were so dead
yeah.
set about giving up their QWERTY keyboards.
Yeah.
And
But
it's like,
they ended up getting past that with the haptic feedback.
Yeah,
every
yeah,
time
yeah,
the
yeah,
vibing and stuff.
yeah.
They
But
those
then
great ideas.
so many phones tried to do it too,
Yeah.
and people hated it, and then finally got like
They're-
into the normal.
Yeah.
their phones still have the best haptic engines.
The BlackBerry.
Yeah, no,
What are you talking
about?
The
The
iPhones. That the vibration,
Yeah,
the haptic
you think it's
vibration,
best?
it is the best. They
Oh,
have the
okay.
best haptic engine.
Really?
Yeah, hands down.
I haven't fucked around. I used to have the iPhone like the first couple ones because they were the best. There was nothing competing with them then. And then BlackBerry's like, yo, we're gonna do the same thing. Then they came out with this sliding one. It was like a smartphone, but then you slide it and you get the keyboard at the bottom.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I
so
had-
that you could have like a touch screen.
Yeah, and the both.
keyboard.
It was fucking fantastic.
I had it for work. It was garbage.
What?
Yeah,
I loved
and
it.
it had Android. I was so pumped up. I fought for it. Like nobody else in the company was allowed to get it, and then I basically said I have proprietary software that I need for one of the things I look after.
So you lied?
No, I
Oh.
did. It was an app, and BlackBerry didn't have the app. So I said I need, and I was trying to get the iPhone because I'm like, okay, I don't want a BlackBerry anyways. I'm like, I already have an Android personal phone. I'm like, maybe they'll give me the iPhone, right? So I was like, oh yeah, it's available on iPhone. I need it. And then right when they were about to prove the iPhone,
Yeah.
Android released it. And like, oh, okay, it's on Android. Yeah, we could probably get you that BlackBerry Android. And I was like, oh shit, right? So anyways, I had it and it was garbage.
Well, dude, I loved it. Well, I think I loved it because they had the BBM though.
Yeah, that's the other thing. People's fascination with BBM.
It was the WhatsApp of that
Yeah,
day,
it
man. What do you
was.
mean?
But then, but WhatsApp was out at that point.
No, it was just
No.
wasn't. No, at that point it was actually that it was still competing with them, but it was just there was too much fun.
It was also like you didn't give out your number.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
Once
that
you
was
delete
key.
somebody,
yeah,
that's
that's
it. They don't
true,
have
yeah.
anywhere to contact you.
that's a big
You
one.
have your
That's a big
BBM
one.
code,
Yeah.
and that's it.
And
Like,
the code thing, it was so cool. It's like, yo, just scan this shit.
yeah.
So hard to distribute, though.
What do you mean?
Yeah, just like
Put it as your Instagram picture.
That was before
Instagram
Instagram.
wasn't even out back then.
I mean, Facebook. Was Facebook out then?
No, that's the thing. Like, you got to go to a club and stuff like that. The girls don't have a BlackBerry, and then that's the only way you want to hit her up. You're just like, I don't want to give this bitch my number.
print off a piece, print it off the code, and just have it fucking laminated and everything. Laminated.
As a name tag.
You just have your QR code just like pasted around the club.
Yeah,
on the walls.
This is bar proof. I can spill the drink on it. Nothing
Yeah,
happens.
yeah, laminated, buddy. I fucked up on my last one. I got it all
Pen
wet.
code.
Make a shirt.
Yeah, oh, people
Yeah.
did. People did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fucking
I know
awesome.
people still hanging on to BBM right now.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought they would have shut that down.
Dude, I remember when they released it again on Android and stuff,
Yeah,
or
on
like
everywhere.
did that.
Oh, we all
and
got it for
Everybody
one
downloaded-
month.
Even
One month.
people that had never got it before, they were like, "Man, I've heard so much about this. I'll
Yeah,
get
yeah,
it."
yeah.
And then nothing happened with it. We all joined a group. Nothing.
But then
It
happened.
was
WhatsApp
too
already
late,
took over.
man.
Yeah,
It was
WhatsApp
too
took
late.
over.
So from day one, I said this. I said when BlackBerry started going down, I was like, the only way these guys are gonna survive is if they license out their technology. They're kings of the software.
Yep.
The encryption on the emails,
Yep.
the BBM, all that kind of stuff. The only way these guys are gonna survive is that if they start to license out their software. They were too fucking late to the game to even licensing it out, because by the time they started licensing it out, it was too late.
Yeah, WhatsApp is.
We were on the
already
waiting
starting
list for that shit.
Yeah, yeah. BBM came out, but then again, WhatsApp, and then WhatsApp, Facebook copies everything. So they basically looked at it as like, oh, you got this unique identifier? Okay, yeah, we can create our own. So then they ended up creating like a unique identifier, and so it's just, yeah.
to- yeah, BBM fucked up, or BlackBerry did.
BlackBerry did fuck up,
up.
Oh yeah.
but again, they're still the kings of the email world on the back end, on the enterprise side.
Yeah,
I think they're still the ones who run 90% of the secure emails.
Oh, do they?
Is their enterprise
still got
their
the-
enterprise software.
Whatever happened to IBM?
IBM sold a lot of its assets off. Like, when you think of IBM, what do you think of?
Well, back in the day, they used to have computers. They
Yeah,
used to have a lot of
So,
like basically
automat-
offices.
Automatically, you think about a computer.
Yeah.
They no longer own computers. Lenovo is a separate company now.
Oh,
That is not an IBM company.
okay.
So IBM is again more on the backside now. They're doing a lot of stuff on the enterprise side, on the corporate side. a lot of back end software, and
Makes
that kind of
makes
stuff.
sense. You got to survive wherever you can, right?
Yeah, man.
Because the new companies are going to keep coming out.
And that's if you look at Microsoft, you know what that guy ended up doing with Microsoft. I can't remember the CEO's name, but he pivoted because Microsoft was in a downward spiral.
Yeah.
They were on fire. They were fucking done, and he's actually made them profitable too. Where just recently, they were they beat Apple in their market cap, and they were the most.
Oh yeah, I heard about
The largest company in the world by market cap.
Really?
They beat Apple for a few minutes. On,
that. Yeah.
on
But
paper.
nevertheless,
Yeah, exactly. But they beat Apple, and that goes to show you something. Like they were able to turn it around. They've got great products now. Their hardware division is fantastic. They shit the bed with the phones. The phones was
Yeah, those.
you know, the concept was good. Like it could have
Yeah, it could've
worked
went,
out
yeah.
pretty well, and they tried to push it. Like if you noticed on House of Cards, I think it was House of Cards.
I don't watch that.
What?
Excuse me?
Don't
Did
get
you
into
just not wait? Did you just not tell me that you haven't watched all the Black Mirrors and you're talking about House of Cards?
I said I haven't watched all
that guy
the Black
touches
Mirrors.
boys.
I said I haven't watched. I said,
who?
You don't know Kevin Spacey?
Oh,
Oh, looking
what
at me
you're
like I'm
talking
fucking retarded or something.
you just said he touches boys.
I
I
know.
don't
You
know who
should
you're
know.
talking about.
You should know.
I thought you were
got
talking about
kicked
Jonah.
I know.
I got scared.
first of all,
Look, he's touching you right now.
him touching boys didn't even come out until like just before this season.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So, what about the previous whatever fucking 5 seasons it's been?
Why,
Anyways,
why
fuck
is
you.
why is he fighting for his
Yeah.
House
We
of
shouldn't
Cards?
even
I
got
don't
into
get
We
this.
it.
shouldn't be talking about this.
Yeah,
Why?
shouldn't have
What
gone
was
into
I
this.
saying?
That could be next episode.
Anyways, they pushed it hard. They tried to get it on the show. They were having everybody use the Windows phones. I even think Scandal. I think they used Windows phones on there.
Really?
Yeah, I do remember seeing a lot of shows having Windows phones for a while.
Well, is that just them going, hey,
They were,
promote
yeah.
this?
they were
Yeah.
trying to push it. They were
Okay.
trying to push the whole Windows Phone thing, and I guess it could have worked, but
Yeah, it
again, they
didn't.
were just too late to the game. But on their hardware side, they've got awesome Surface laptops, really good
Oh, yeah.
stuff.
Beautiful.
Their tablets are really good, and on their Pro side, they've got this Surface desktop.
Oh, yeah,
that tilts
yeah.
down. That thing is
Dude,
phenomenal,
that thing is crazy.
man.
I tried it at one store, on the Microsoft store. Fantastic,
Like if you're an
man.
illustrator or,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
in that kind of gaming or that kind of stuff,
And the
where you need
leg
to-
was like minimum.
dude, it's insane. It was
Yeah,
so
even
cool.
their new game console, the Xbox One X, is the most powerful console now. Like they're killing it in all hardware aspects.
Yeah.
So hardware wise, they're the best, but PS4 is still better.
Why would you say that?
I'm just saying. I
It-
I
it's-
see it online all the time, and
It's
no.
just a view. Like, hey,
Yeah.
if you basically we started with Xbox, so we're gonna be like, yeah, Xbox better.
And-
but if you start with PS, you're gonna be fighting for PS. At the same,
No, it was because right when they came out with this generation, the Xbox One, right when they were about to launch that, they had some like they were already thinking a couple years in the future, and I guess people just weren't ready for it because they were already gonna do it have basically everything you buy be connected to your online account, and people thought that would mean that if I bought a disc and I put it in my Xbox, if I ever loaned that disc out to one of my friends, they wouldn't be able to download it and play it because it'd be like, oh no, it's locked to your Xbox. It wasn't even the case, but
Yeah.
people just got crazy with it, ran wild with it, and just like ended up causing a shitstorm. And so they got rid of a bunch of that stuff. But then a year later, the PlayStation started kind of going that way, and everything started kind of going into the downloading only phase.
well, that was one part of it. That was
Yeah,
one part.
that was
Another
one
part was, in the beginning, I think
And-
PS4 the
Yeah,
hardware was better.
The PS4 hardware
Was
was
better.
like a decent amount
yeah,
better. Like
but
a-
then they went over them.
Yeah, but then it was once Phil Spencer, the new head at Xbox for the last couple of years. It was once he came in, he
pushed it.
He pushed everything. He changed the game.
Because, Xbox's whole goal in the beginning was to make that the center of your home
home entertainment.
Home
Yeah.
entertainment.
That's where
That's what they were pushing,
Yeah.
which I enjoyed a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Some people didn't, right?
That was the
I
thing.
loved
It was weird. It was like people just wanted to complain about it, so
Yeah,
they
it
went
was so
crazy with
weird.
it. But then now that they have
it's
the
funny
One X
because
out,
that concept, which turned into XBMC,
Oh, yeah.
which is
Yeah.
what Cody is the backbone of Kodi.
Oh yeah,
which
that's what I mean. That's why I say like I
which
think
was
they
XBMC.
were a little bit ahead of their time,
Yeah.
and I think they just took the shitstorm for
Yeah.
the way
That's what happened.
just the
No.
way everything was going.
And they were introducing that other one that which they can't perfect yet. That you don't even have a console at home. It's all in
But-
their servers, and then you just. But then the lag was too much. They're still
Yeah.
trying to. They're still trying to do
They're
it.
getting
It's
close.
gonna happen. It's
They're
gonna
getting
happen.
close.
Yeah, yeah.
And even some of it is even for newer games. Some of it is processed by the cloud. Not all of it, but a little bit of it is like it's not even your own console.
well,
doing
that's
it.
one thing I will have noticed that the loading times are a lot
Oh,
better
yeah.
now.
Oh, crazy! Especially like I just upgraded Black Friday. That I got the X from the original Xbox One, and I used to be the last person loaded into the game when I would play. Everybody's been
I remember
talking
that.
about this, that. I'm like, dude, guys, I'm not even in there yet. Hold on. And then-
Is it still loading? And we're all-
but now I'm in there first.
So
yeah.
before they used to really differentiate themselves with different gaming properties, exclusives, and
Yeah.
stuff. Is that still a
They
thing?
still
or
do,
is that now?
but the
Basically, what happened is we're in a lull right now because of Don Matrick. He was the old head of Xbox, and he kind of like phased that stuff out. But because it takes so many years to develop a game and do stuff, by the time Phil Spencer came in, he started changing it up and stuff. We're still in the process of him. Like they just recently bought a bunch of new studios, so within the next like 3 to 4 years, I think we're gonna start.
no,
seeing-
apparently this year.
or
They-
even, yeah.
So the reports came this year that the original first ones, there's going to be a couple games this year. They're going to be exclusive now.
Yeah.
And then they're going to get more and more. They're going to get back into that.
Because this year, I think like the only exclusives they really have are like the Forza games and
Halo.
Gears of War and Halo are basically the top three.
Yeah,
There's not
and they're
really
gonna-
any other.
I think Gears of War
exclusives.
5 and the next Halo Infinity is coming out this
Yeah.
year. In 2019.
And that's the other thing. People are realizing because Xbox is going so off on their own like end, they're doing a lot of PC integration. So nothing is actually truly Xbox only.
Oh, yeah,
because you can play it on your
Oh, I
PC
see, I
too.
see.
And that's also where a lot of the exclusive stuff isn't happening anymore because they're just not even making.
Well, they want to move that way too,
Exactly.
which is good.
It's
Like
good.
say
I
if
mean,
you
it's
want to
better
play on
for the
both, right,
consumer.
or whatever, right?
Exactly.
It's connecting the PC world
Yeah,
and the
exactly.
Xbox world.
Well, and that's what I find. Xbox is way more trying to connect, where PlayStation
PlayStation
has
is kind of staying closed, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
hurting them. I don't know why they're
not. Well,
doing
there's
that.
there's even like games that can cross-platform between an Xbox and a Nintendo Switch.
Yeah,
you can play those two together.
like Fortnite.
But PlayStation just
okay,
purposely
okay.
goes, no, we don't.
They
wanna,
basically
they don't
everyone
wanna
thought,
expose
okay,
their-
PS4 in the next few weeks is gonna announce we're gonna do the same thing, and they actually announced, no, we're not,
I thought,
which is fucked
again,
up.
I don't know if you what the lag is, but I thought it was kind of cool that if you have an Xbox and you got a Windows 10 PC, that you can play
Yeah,
that
yeah.
game.
Oh,
I don't-
yeah.
And again, I don't know what the lag is. I guess it's what
No, it's not
hardware
that bad.
does it use?
It's not that
It's
bad.
actually it's pretty
For
good.
for single player games, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Right. For online, obviously, you want the edge.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
you still stick to your Xbox side, but single player games, it's fucking fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Some people have it sent to their PC, and then the PC sent to another screen for
Yeah.
single players, and they still play.
Yeah.
Which is there the lag comes
Wow.
in. Go on, could you?
How's the backwards compatibility for PS4 and Xbox?
Oh, PS4 has 0 backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Xbox is the only one pushing,
And-
and Xbox did the 360 backwards compat, and then a year later they did the original.
Original.
Xbox.
I got.
Oh, really?
I even got
So-
one game for original.
I know.
I, think
I
I got
bought
a few
one.
games kicking around here.
I bought one too.
I bought
Fusion
Frenzy.
Frenzy.
That's exactly what I
Oh,
bought.
yeah.
Dude, that game is the best for like parties, like
So good.
like just hanging out and having a couple drinks,
Yeah.
drinks, smoking a dip or something. You know?
Yeah.
So is Tekken still an exclusive on PlayStation?
This guy.
I don't think they even make Tekken anymore.
I had to bring that one up.
Oh, I got like backwards compatibility. I got a Tekken on my Xbox One.
Oh, you did? Nice.
Yeah,
How'd you
it's
get
from
that?
360. It's like a Tekken tag or something like that. It's actually a good
that's
game.
a
I thought
Oh,
Tekken
I
was a
think I-
PS PlayStation exclusive thing.
Nope, I have it on my
Oh,
Xbox.
fantastic.
No, that- I don't think that one's
I might
exclusive.
just go to
No, I don't
Xbox
think
then.
that
All right, yeah.
You should.
You know what? I haven't bought a console. Last console I bought was a PS3, sitting right behind us here, and
Collecting dust.
you know, I can't. I don't play it enough.
No, dude, you can't with kids. Come
No.
on.
So what
How
we
do
don't
you?
have kids. What do you mean? We don't have kids, so we got the time.
So what I've said to my wife is, I'm like, oh, you know, The boy's getting older now. I think he wants a console.
He's not even 2.
And he's gonna give him a
I
fake
think it's
controller
time.
anyways. He's gonna give him a fake controller anyways. Here.
No,
Yeah,
honey,
you're
he's
doing it.
learning. He's learning. He's got to watch
Like,
me
you know,
play it first.
We have to adapt him into this technology. I'm like, I think it's time to buy a new console.
Are you gonna start them off with like Super Mario World and stuff like
No
that?
Tekken.
Honestly,
Straight to Tekken.
you know what another great one is the Lego games for
Oh, Lego games for kids is
So
fantastic. Fantastic.
kids and anybody like getting into
yeah,
gaming
fantastic.
and stuff.
Yeah.
And this is the shitty thing because Nintendo was always the kid-friendly one,
Yeah.
and like the Wii was like such a big hit. But the Switch, I don't know, man.
What?
Is
Really?
It's a
it-
massive
Dude, the
hit.
Switch
Is
is
it
a
a hit?
It's a
massive hit.
big,
Yeah.
bigger hit
The
than
Switch is outselling the PlayStation in
yes,
Japan.
yes.
for real.
Yeah.
Switch
And
is
just as
crazy.
going
kid-friendly
crazy.
as the Wii was.
Well, you could get bad
Actually-
games too.
It's better because it's not as kid friendly because you still have all that kid friendly aspect,
No, that's
but
what I
they're
meant.
adding to it now.
Oh,
That's
okay,
what-
yeah,
that's
yeah,
what
yeah,
I
yeah,
meant.
yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, so you
The
could.
downside to Wii was that it didn't have any good games.
Exactly.
Like adult games,
Yeah.
right? So like, is it now more well-rounded and
It's
stuff?
starting to be, but
They
not quite
try,
there
but
yet.
the people that want to play those weird games or don't go to the Switch for it,
Like the motion
Yeah.
capture stuff was really cool that they used
which
to
is
do.
cool. But the Switch is killing it.
Apparently, that Pokemon Let's Go game is pretty good.
Let's go. And then Smash is killing it.
Oh,
Smash
yeah,
Bros. or
Super
whatever.
Smash Bros.
Oh, yeah,
that
that's-
kills on everything.
Yeah,
it kills on
I, don't know,
Always.
I like playing it, but I would never buy it. I don't know why, but the people that are into it, they love it, man. That's why
It's
they love the
awesome.
Switch. And because then you have them, and you could go travel with them, and you could play against each other, right?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
really cool.
So if I was in the market for a console,
For you, I would probably
Switch.
recommend a Switch. Yeah,
Switch is the one for you.
yeah,
and it's a lot cheaper too, isn't it?
yeah. It's like
$229, I think.
Yeah.
Right? $250 maybe. It was on sale. Though.
For you, I would just get one of those Tekken arcade games and just set it up somewhere.
The funny thing
$15.
is, I was actually thinking about it. I have all the emulators. I actually have like
Yeah, you
2,000 arcade games, and my boss at work, he actually has the full blueprint of cutting out.
What did he make it on? A Raspberry?
He made it with no. He did it with a PC. But
Oh, he put a PC in it.
He put he loves technology, man. The guy's got like 10
But
billion PCs around.
you could probably make it much cheaper with a Raspberry Pi.
You probably could. No doubt about it. And he actually bought the joystick, inlaid it into the wood, the whole 9 yards. And so I told him it would probably be a summer project. Obviously, he's probably going to do most of the work. And I'm just going to take credit for it. But it's a full stand-up machine with a nice LED monitor.
Let
the
him
whole 9
sign
yards.
it, the
Yeah.
side and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, yo, brought
He's
to you
got.
by-
He even has a graphics package on it. So
What's
he
that?
actually got like
print it off.
all printed off,
Oh,
like
wow.
with the lit banner at the top. The whole 9 yards.
That's awesome.
Like he took it to the next level. I asked him how often he plays, and he never does. But
That's the thing. Like, I'd got a Raspberry Pi just to do that. Put an emulator on it. I'm like, guys, let's play. The next time you guys come over, like, and these guys came over, whatever. We played a couple games. Haven't touched
never
it
touched
after.
it. again.
Haven't touched it after.
he's the other day, right before the Christmas break, he's like, "Well, no one's gonna buy me a present, so I went shopping." I'm like, "What'd you get?" Because I know he always buys the coolest shit ever. He's like, I bought an HTC Vive." So he
Oh,
bought a
shit.
full VR thing. He goes, "It's the trippiest thing in the world."
That's wild.
And he's got like a maxed out PC that he just rebuilt again for like the third time, like with the top end graphics card. As soon as the newest graphics card comes in, he's just like, I think I'm gonna go buy that, and just updates his
That's
shit.
crazy.
That's crazy.
But he said it's next level. He goes, "You actually get." I asked him the first day. I asked him, I was like, "Did you like fall down?" And he's like, "No." And then like 2 days later, he comes. He's like, "I fell the other day." He's like, "You just get so immersed
you
in
get
it." He
into
goes,
it.
"It's not even like the graphics are good.
They're not that
He's
great.
like,
yeah.
it just you get so immersed in
Yeah.
it, you think you're there."
Yeah, yeah.
And he goes, "It fucks
That's
with you."
crazy.
I just
So-
saw an Instagram video the other day where he's playing boxing and he had to like touch gloves and he just swung his first punch and he just fell right over. He like almost broke the TV and stuff. Freaking awesome.
Yeah, that's the thing about VR right now.
So I'm waiting till like the walking stuff is perfected and then gets cheap. That's when I'm gonna get it. That walking shit, they're trying so many different ways and they really work good now.
Yeah, that I saw that little 360 treadmill.
Yeah,
Like where you're basically in like a little mini octagon.
Yeah, yeah.
And then no matter what way you run or walk, you're kind of belted in.
Yeah.
And then it's got bars around it, so you
yeah. It
can't
feels
fall
so. It
over.
kind of feels like you're walking around.
Yeah, that
The
one's
newest
pretty
one
cool.
I saw was they could change the levels of it because they had basically a bunch of square moving cubes that had like a treadmill on, or not a, yeah, it was a treadmill on top. And so they would move around and they could actually replicate walking upstairs because they would just rotate and go around and keep going back. And
I haven't seen the level
dude,
ones.
it's
That's
crazy.
crazy.
I've seen just different versions of walking around street.
Yeah.
That's all.
And recently they got better
Like
way more dexterous and stuff. They put more, a lot more, what are
Sensors.
they, sensors and stuff. And
oh, nice.
Yeah, it's gonna get really accurate, and Really
Well,
good.
I just can't wait till like they put it in like some sort of like shop around here. I would go pay money to go use it. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's
just to
too
try it
expensive to
out.
have at home.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
demos,
especially in the beginning.
Oh, and
I thought Best Buy has a demo set up, not for the Vive, but I think they have it for the.
No, they're gonna have it for the VRs, but they're not gonna have the walking.
Oh,
thing.
yeah,
no,
I
they
know
have a
that.
VR like Cade opened up in Abbotsford.
Yeah?
Really?
Yeah, it's like a VR arcade. You can like book it for parties and stuff like that. It's like a couple $100, but it's like a whole.
Do they have the walking thing though?
I think so.
If they have that, I want to go try
Yeah,
that.
I saw
That's
it on like
wild.
Groupon or something like that. But yeah, they have like a full on.
That I want to go try because like the VR stuff, yeah, it's cool. We could get it at home and stuff is cool. Plug it in. Like I think that's what PS4 actually is
Yeah.
ahead of Xbox for.
Yeah.
they've
the
got
VR.
They've got the PlayStation View.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but the walking thing is what I'm trying to look for. But anyways, going back to the console we were talking about, I forgot to mention. Xbox tried this this payment plan for a few people, probably a couple hundred people or something, that you don't have to put the purchase price for Xbox anymore. So what they're gonna roll out this year is that you buy an Xbox through payments.
Like cell phones.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
I heard about that actually, and I think that's where the industry is going to go.
Yeah, it has to go.
Yeah.
Is they're going to because they want to release more expensive consoles,
Yeah.
and they know people can't.
Yeah, nobody's gonna
no
go
one's
over
gonna,
$500.
No one's going to pay
Yeah.
$1,000 out of
Well,
pocket.
that's what
for a
they're
console.
kind of doing that the premium and not premium thing again because Xbox has started phasing out console generations because with this one they had the Xbox One and then the Xbox One S, which was like what they've been doing for the last few years, where they would upgrade it, but then they came out with the Xbox One X, which was such a huge leap ahead.
That's not
it
even
can-
an upgrade. It's
yeah,
not
but
even-
but it's still technically the
considered, yeah.
same generation,
Yeah.
and so I think what they're looking to do is just make these almost yearly or every other year kind of upgrades, and so you can still buy one of the past models, and that way
And
you
still
can
play.
all still you can all still play the same games and stuff. You'll just have a slightly lower resolutions, like
Yeah.
it just won't be the
it's
top
gonna go.
of the line.
It's gonna go into the PC side.
Exactly.
It's gonna
Yeah.
seem like because that's. But then it kind of ruins it too. Because then if people have the resolution thing on PC, it's crazy. Because
yeah.
if people are playing right online game and then there's like fake grass, whatever, and stuff on different resolutions, the grass will be there and the grass won't.
Yeah,
like
so
people-
sometimes it's better to play on lower
Yeah.
resolution because you can see the
them.
players more.
They think they're
clearly.
hiding grass, but they're and for lower resolution, they're literally laying down on the ground like an idiot.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
So
because
that I don't want
Because
to-
it can't render it, so
yeah,
it just
so
it doesn't do it.
render
Doesn't do it.
Yeah, so
Interesting.
So it ruins the game, but which I
Yeah.
don't want that to come to Xbox. That's what
Exactly.
I'm afraid of. For.
But isn't that already in Xbox?
no, but that's
no.
the thing about the Xbox stuff. It's more because you buy exactly what it is. You can't really tweak the
Yeah.
specs or anything, so it's very
No, I'm not saying right now.
Often.
It's not. It's
Yeah.
it's the same right now. Like it's just like if I have the old one versus you have the new one, I'm just gonna load in later. But once we're playing, it's basically the exact
Yeah.
same. And but you might be playing in 4K. I might be playing
1080p.
1080p.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
It's-
It's not
yeah.
even a crazy difference.
I prefer 360. 360p.
360.
Super low res.
I prefer 1 pixel.
4:3 aspect ratio is the only way to go.
Everybody's a block.
Yeah.
It's actually the Lego game.
I can't believe I
Are
used to
all
play on
games
this.
Lego games?
Everything's
Technically.
Minecraft.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Everything's made out of Minecraft. Anyways, should we
I don't
end this one?
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah,
I think that's enough talk for today.
about technology
Yeah.
and where
Well,
we're heading.
Thank you all. We're going to leave you with the thought of the day.
If you have Xbox, add a young Damien. I'll shit kick you in any game. I'm joking, not any game.
Except
Except
Tekken.
NHL.
I'll kick his ass in
No,
Tekken.
no. Call of Duty, I'll kick your ass.
Gridjolt's wife will kick his ass in NHL.
Oh,
It's true. It's
Twice.
true.
I'm
Lethy,
I'm
you're-
better than her.
You're
I just
0
freeze.
2. You're 0 2 against her. How did that happen?
You guys put the pressure on me, man.
I know.
You stare at me and shit while I'm playing. Like I want to play at home.
Trash.
Also because you're fucking garbage.
Trash.
0 and 2.
I never play it, man. And then when we play it together, I fucking suck. Face me at Black Ops. Fuck you.
1v1. 1v1, baby.
Anyways,
So
the
again,
thought of the day.
Thought of the day.
Just from what we started with, let's go with do your research.
Oh, I
Oh,
like
yeah.
it.
That's a good one.
That's a
Do
good
your
one.
research when you're committing to anything,
Yeah.
phone plans, anything like that. I don't know if you guys know this, but for phone plans, like, Bell and Virgin and Fido and Rogers. So Virgin and Fido, those are better for just for the plan. So bring your own device. Bell and Rogers and TELUS, those are better if you want to get a phone. So if you already have a good phone, you're happy with it, or you want to buy outright phones, go with Virgin Fido. If you want to get a new phone, go with Bell and Fido, or go Bell, Rogers, or TELUS.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the bigger company.
And don't be a lemming or sheep. You know, exactly like what Joe said. Do your research with anything you're buying.
Yeah, anything.
Whether it's a TV, whether it's a computer. You know, some people think it's not worth the time or effort, but trust me, when it saves you money and you get a better product, it is worth the time and effort. So do your research.
You know what's so weird? I enjoy doing the research.
Same.
Oh, yeah.
I actually enjoy the process of doing research.
It's like, this is
Yeah,
a little
it's so
better.
exciting.
Oh, yeah, it's so exciting. I don't know why people don't like doing
I
it.
literally go out, do my research, try to find the best deal I can. Then I'm really like, tell people,
Yeah.
hey, this is what I did. Look.
I
You feel
research-
good about it.
I
Yeah.
research so much, I get conflicted.
That is
And that's
Yeah, that happens too.
because it'll get down to just the slightest differences, and I'll be
Then
just
you're
like,
gonna flip a coin.
I don't know which one I need, right? And then it just comes down to look, touch, and feel.
Yeah. That's what I usually do. If I have like 2, 3, I go there and one just pops out to me.
That's the only thing big box stores are useful for. You go there, you look at it, you touch it, you feel it, and then you buy it online for cheaper. Anyways, thank you all for joining us. Hit us up at ltbcast on gmail.com and ltbcast on Instagram. And we love the feedback, so please keep on hitting us up with the feedback. And if you're an iPhone user on iTunes, please hit us with a review and leave a comment. You have to leave a rating as well as a comment for it to be valid, so please do that. Much appreciated.
And thank you to anybody that has already.
Yeah, and thank you all for tuning in. We'll catch you in the next one.
And,
Peace.
and you could hit me up at Young Damien on Xbox. Look, shit kicking in blackout.
1v1 and just trash on him.
You can't. No blackout. Goodbye.
Peace.
Oh.